This is a quick video to show how to make complex 3D shapes using the basic skills you already have. We're going to make the first exercise in the list, and I'll make another video for the extensions. Once you can apply this basic idea, you can then make very complex shapes. So there are two approaches to making this shape, and one is to draw this shape here. Oops, excuse my wobbly lines, but this basic shape here, and then extrude in this direction to make the 3D shape. The alternative is actually to make this whole rectangle like this and extrude that direction, and then chop out bits that you don't want. So those are the two approaches I'm going to show today. Okay, let's start with, we're going to use the front plane, and this is going to be the draw that funny squarish boot shape and then extrude. So I'm going to go to sketch, I'm going to choose the line tool. There are a couple of things to understand about the line tool. One is that you want lots of things to be perpendicular because we're dealing with 90 degrees. So we're going to make sure that things are perpendicular. So line tool, I want it to line up approximately with the center of the origin. So I'm going to draw this bit first. Okay, so from here I'm going to go up. Now it's 14 reading off my diagram, but I don't need to get all of the measurements correct because I'm going to do it with Smart Dimension, but getting them within the realms of what's actually happening would be good. So this is actually 10 mil. We worked that out because the top is 60 plus 20, which is 80 long, and the bottom is 50 plus 20, which is 70 long, and the difference is 10 mil. And then I'm going up 14 and then up 36, which gives me 14 and 36 is 50. And then along 60, that, and then down 25, and then along 20, and then down 25 again, and you'll see that dotty line. The other thing to notice is that I have a yellow highlighted vertical line appearing below my cursor. If I move out of vertical, then it goes away, but when I'm in vertical, it will give me that highlighted yellow vertical line, and that's telling me that I'm lined up with the horizontal. So I'm going to click there, and then I'm going to click back to the beginning. And this is approximately the shape we want, but not exactly the shape we want. So we're going to use our Smart Dimension to make it exact. So let's match up the measurements in the diagram. So that's 60. That's 20. This one here is actually not given. We won't put it in because we'll put in the others and it will be calculated. This one here is 50. 36 plus 14 is 50. This one here is 50. This one here is 20. Now that one is 14. This one here says 14.1. Just going to escape on that for a second. What I can do that you might not know from last year is I can click on that line. Oh, don't be in Smart Dimension. Don't be in Smart Dimension. Click on that line and shift and click on that line, and you'll see that both of those lines appear in the selected entities section here. Okay, and so what I want to do is make those lines equal. So I click the equal thing, and now they are always going to be the same length. So it's now drawn everything back together to make them the same length. Okay, and now I'm satisfied that my shape is the right shape. So I will exit my sketch, and I want to highlight that sketch and extrude it into the third dimension using extruded boss base. And I want to extrude it 50 millimeters. Yours might not be 50 millimeters by default. So you can click the arrow keys to get it to 50 millimeters or drag it. I would type it if I were you, because if you drag it, you can be a little bit off. And then I click tick, and that is the shape we're looking for. Beautiful. Okay, I'm going to undo all of that and do it an alternative way. Okay, so this is what some of the Year 8s found easier to deal with last year. So I'm going to show you that as well. So I'm going to draw a rectangle. I need that rectangle to be 80 millimeters by 50 millimeters. But I'm going to Smart Dimension it. So let's go Smart Dimension. We want that to be 50. And we want that to be 80. Now I could edit this rectangle at this point by removing some of the lines and drawing other lines in order to get it to look like that side face, but actually I'm going to show a different way. So exit the sketch and let's extrude that sketch into 3D. And I want it to be 50 mils and tick. Okay, I now have a rectangular prism that I can cut bits off. So what I want to do is click on this face. This is the face I want to cut things off. And I want to cut this rectangle here off and this rectangle here. The second one is a bit harder, so I'm going to do the first one first. Okay, so quite easy. Let's go to sketch. Rectangle, we want to draw from this dot here, make sure it lines up, and then down, and we can adjust that once we've got it started. So let's do Smart Dimension. According to the diagram, it's 25 millimeters high and 20 millimeters across. Okay, once I have that sketch, I can use it as a cookie cutter and go to Features and Extrude Cut. And it will cut all the way through. Let's double check. 50 millimeters is all the way through. I click tick and I have the first cut done. And now I want to do one more cut. It's not a difficult thing to cut out, but it is difficult to get the placement right. Okay, so I want to draw my rectangle from the bottom line to make sure it joins up, and I want it to be 14 by 20, 14 by 20. Let's Smart Dimension that to make sure that it's actually 14 by 20. That should be 20. This here should be 14. Okay, and now we need that to be 50 millimeters from there to there and 10 millimeters from there to there. Now we only have to pick one of them. Right, so in Smart Dimension, with Smart Dimension still highlighted, I'm going to hold down my Shift key, click on one line, click on the other line, and draw it down. And make that 50, and it will shift that whole hole to the left so that it's 50 away from that line. So I'm going to show that again because it's a bit tricky. I'm going to click on Smart Dimension. I'm going to click on this line, hold down the Shift key, click on this second line that I want it to be 50 millimeters away from, and click 50. Magic. Okay, exit sketch. I'm going to chop that all the way through. So highlight sketch 9, go to features, extruded cut. Now let's double check. 50 millimeters goes all the way through, and click tick. And there is my beautiful 3D model. Okay,